I'm not a dictator, right? I really want to listen. I want to think about it, so maybe slow the reaction.
You know, whether it's in a two-person office, whether it's with clients and people that you're dealing with, or in a larger setting. I mean, we've sat on a board together, and I think listening there is just as important as you know, speaking up when you have to, because you've got 10, 12, 15 people in a room.
There's a hierarchy in the order, but at the end of the day, when you get down to work, typically everyone's pulling together.
Welcome to Brewing Better Leaders, a podcast focused around building up and equipping leaders with the knowledge and skills to lead others in excellence. I'm Bill Montgomery, CEO of River Radio Ministries. Today we're sitting down with Chamie Townsend, founder of the Elevated Wealth Advisory Group at Sargent Coffee Co, to discuss the practice of collaboration, accountability, and openly listening to others' input. Hi, welcome to another episode of Brewing Better Leaders. I'm Bill Montgomery. It is great to be back with you today as we continue to discuss leadership. And I'm with a good friend today, Chamie Townsend, that I'm excited for you to meet. We have served on boards together. We've actually drank a lot of coffee together, getting together, talking about life and business and other things like that. But Chamie is a certified financial planner. She's the founder of the Elevated Wealth Advisory Group, and a fantastic guest and somebody that lives and models and teaches leadership. So welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Bill. It's wonderful to be here today.
Absolutely. First of all, tell us just very briefly about your journey. You've been doing financial planning for a long time, and now have your own firm.
Yes.
A recent author. You want to touch on those things a little bit?
I'll try to make this as simple as possible, but I'm Northeast born, Cleveland, Ohio. Went to The Ohio State University. Love the Buckeyes. Excited about the upcoming football season. Was a nerd. Applied math, computer engineering. Financial engineering is where I pivoted towards risk management. And the corporate side was laid off, and then had the opportunity to really figure out what I wanted to do, and that's with helping people with finances. So lo and behold, that's where I started at Edward Jones as a financial advisor. Grew over the 12 years, got my certified financial planning designation, and then decided to launch my own firm. And we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary back in June. So during this time, I've not only elevated my clients, but I've elevated my own life. And I decided to write a book. And a lot of people are like, well, did you write about finance? I'm like, yeah, it's not just about finance. It's really about life. It's about mindsets and habits that I've learned over these years that I want to give people the shortcut. I can give you this book and give you a shortcut on how to feel completely satisfied with where you are in life, whether it's your diet, your exercise, your friends, your relationship with God, calendar management. All these things need to be working together, financial management, for us to feel like we're confident.
Yeah, so really much more of a holistic approach than, because if your finances are good, but everything else is a mess, you're still not in any better shape than...
You're still stressed out.
Yeah.
You still, have anxiety and things. And, God didn't design us for that. We're supposed to have joy. Even in this very modern, complex world, we need to sometimes step back a little bit for more simplistic solutions.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That is good. Well, I have certainly seen you model that over the years as we've worked together on different projects and served in different things. And so I love that. Well, obviously on our podcast, we've been talking about leaders and leadership and characteristics that have served the folks that we're talking to very well. And I'd love to get kind of your take on just leadership in general, and then maybe some traits that you have found that have served you well and that you have helped encourage people on.
And leadership, to me, is ever evolving. And for me, I was an only child, very much independent. I had a more subject matter corporate role. So to have to lead my admin, lead clients, be a leader in the community, I had to learn some things. I wouldn't say there were tough things or kind of simplistic things, but listening. Really listening, seeing how you can take that with your own strengths and weaknesses to develop something greater as a team. So a lot of people say, yeah, I'm a great leader, but I really feel like I'm part of the team. So maybe I have to make some final decisions, but I want people to have a say on things, because I might not have the best solution, or I might not have looked at it through a certain lens.
Hey, you. Yes, you. That's who I'm talking to. When is the last time you thanked that coworker, that assistant, that parent, that teacher, that mentor, that person that changed the trajectory of your career, or that person that helps you get things done every day, the one that has saved you? Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's one of your kids, but you need to say thank you. Well, give them a gift that they not only deserve, but a gift that they are going to love, and that is from my friends, Dolce Sweets. Their espresso chocolate, my personal favorite here at Brewing Better Leaders. But they have chocolate, they've got amazing, amazing gifts. You are going to be pleased, and more importantly, the person that you get the gift for is gonna know that you care about them because you got a gift from Dolce Sweets. And for my viewers, my listeners, 15% off when you use the code BREW. 15% off, use the code BREW at Dolce Sweets, DULCI. I promise you, they will be thrilled. You can thank me later.
So I'm not a dictator in a regulatory thing, or I'm not going to forcibly make people on my team do these things. I really want to listen. I want to think about it. So maybe slow the reaction. Like, let me get back to you tomorrow. Let me think about it, pray about it. Let me just think about your perspective. And, if that's a great solution. I could have never thought of that. And then let's just go with it. Let's execute it. To me, that is important in being a leader. The old management type, do what I say, get here at this time, it's my word, that doesn't work well. And if anything, you're not leveraging your people. People will work harder for you when you demonstrate your willingness to roll up your sleeves and work beside them, even though you may have the ultimate accountability and responsibility.
Yeah. One thing to kind of grab from the beginning of that, because you said so many good things there, is listening. Mm-hmm. And I think oftentimes we don't think in leadership that leadership is about not talking and having your ears open. Maybe unpack that a little bit and just how practically somebody can do that in a work or in a culture environment.
Sure, absolutely. So I'll give you an example. My admin and I, we are probably a non-typical relationship. We live together in Pickerington. We know each other's families. She's faith-based. We pray in meetings. We take it to the ultimate level.
Wow.
Where some people say, oh, that's your work person. You should have your guards up. We've gone the opposite way. And the clients can sense that. Wow, you and Carol work together amazingly. Yes, we work together. We're friends. We understand there are things outside of our lives as women, as family members that we need to take care of. So when I'm listening to her, I'm listening to a client, or I'm listening to anyone in general, I'm a very visual person. So sometimes I need notes, right? I need to take those notes using AI, leveraging technology, reflecting on those things, thinking about it, journaling. I know we've talked about that. To me, that listening is just the first step in terms of digesting it and then coming back to the table with it. So like I said, taking your time with it and understanding that everyone's different in terms of how they have that lens. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure if you're not taking the time to listen, you can't even discern the differences of people and how you need to interact with different people in different ways.
Especially with clients, everyone's different. Yes, we have the same credentials as all these other financial planners, financial advisors, but it's really about the individual sitting across from you, their circumstances outside of the portfolio allocation, But okay, what's their family style? What's their personality? What's really keeping them up at night? Is it the portfolio? Is it the, taking care of parents or grandkids or special needs? There's so many other things besides the portfolio that you need to understand to be a good leader for them to hit their goals. So there's so many ways that you can leverage these skills in leadership on all aspects of your life without even realizing it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And you can practice that, whether it's in a 2-person office, whether it's with clients and people that you're dealing with, or in a larger setting. I mean, we've sat on a board together and I think listening there is just as important as speaking up when you have to, because you've got 10, 12, 15 people in a room.
Right. And then sometimes you have to step back, okay, we have so many great ideas, so many different personalities, so much coffee, going on
exactly.
right now. Okay, wait, let's get the whiteboard. We have the whiteboard. We have okay, let's organize this. What makes sense? What's not relevant anymore? Those kinds of things is the last meeting. But you're absolutely right. It's about managing that energy to get it moving in the right direction with everyone behind that energy. You don't want someone feeling left behind or feeling like they have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing I picked up when you kind of talked about your initial definition of leadership and what you see is the team aspect of leadership. And I think a lot of times we view leadership as like a leader and followers, and team has a very different connotation. Talk to me about that.
So even though I'm an only child, and obviously my parents are older, so I think with them being a little bit older and mature in their parenting style, they always had me involved in activities or with other kids or even with adults. So at a young age, I was always observing whether it was a business setting or a sports setting that, yes, you might have the leadership, the coach, the pastor, whatever, but it's a team effort, whether you're doing a community service project, whether you're playing a sport, whether you're working in the work area. So I think just it's been ingrained in me that yes, there's a hierarchy in the order, but at the end of the day, when you get down to work, typically everyone's pulling together to get that end result. And the feeling when you do deliver or you do win or you have that victory, everyone feels like I did some part. Sometimes there are larger parts than the others. We have to put our egos aside, right?
Yes.
Right? You know, whether you're the water boy, water girl, or you're the star quarterback, right?
Yes.
You know, you have to check your ego, like, but in totality, the team won, right? Everyone played their role and we got to where we needed to go. And as a good leader, we need to realize this. And we also need to, there's this expression that's coming to me, was it praise in public and correct in private?
Yeah.
So some of those aspects, not that you don't have those moments where you need to, pull someone aside or get clarification, but knowing when and not to put someone on the spot, no embarrassment, no shaming, because that changes the whole environment. And then you've got this toxic situation and it just spirals out of control. So you really want to keep, the energy elevated in all aspects, even though there might be areas as a leader that you have to have some uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and so it sounds like, especially even in like that group dynamic, like, we're not keeping score in the group. No. Like as a leader, I don't have to be right. It doesn't have to be my idea. It doesn't, it's how do we collectively elevate and get the energy up and win.
Right. So I think from a young child, because I'm only child, I've adopted siblings, adopted family. I can adopt my, siblings, which is great.
I love that.
We look at things as team effort. Even when it comes to family, when there's something going on in the family, we are a family. First and foremost, if there's an issue, we figure it out. We problem solve, we work through it, and we move on. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. We're not going to point fingers or how did you get to that? No, you help each other out. It goes back biblically, in terms of how, are you going to be the good Samaritan or are you going to keep walking, right? How do we want to live and talk and show that we're really aligning those moments of leadership? Because sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm not a leader, but you could have opportunities or moments of leadership at any point.
Yeah. So it's not even necessarily a position or a title to begin to start doing leadership things.
Right. You can observe it with kids. Just watch some kids playing, there's going to be a little ringleader, we say it all the time. Like you start observing, even kids take opportunities to fill in a spot or notice things or help, get the kids to, mom and dad said that such and such. And like, maybe we can plot to get such and such. So there's always that opportunity to come together as a team to get that end result. I think it's ingrained in our nature.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So it's kind of never too young to start.
Yeah, never too young.
Yeah. And you don't have to wait for a position or a job or a title or whatever. You can practice the traits and the characteristics of leadership all along the way.
Yes.
Any other, as we talk about leadership, any other traits or characteristics that you find that are key or important in good leaders?
The one thing that resonates with me is that I had a bad experience in my corporate life of being micromanaged. And I absolutely declared that I will never micromanage anyone. There's just more productive ways to do that.
Yeah.
So I trust people. You have to trust people. You have to communicate. So I am not going to come back behind and double check every single thing you do or ask and probe, So now if we hit a hiccup or we do this, we always analyze, why did it happen? Can it not happen again? Now if it's happening repeatedly, that's another thing. Right. But we're human, we make mistakes. So when I hand it off, when I delegate, I am fully handing it off. I don't have one hand on it. I'm not clinging to it. I trust you like, hey, this is the part that we determined that you can work on. And if you have any issues or questions, let me know. People appreciate that, right? And when you find a good teammate, they understand like, okay, I know this parameter. I can make reasonable judgments about things, but maybe I'll double check. Maybe I want to make sure our lenses are the same. I'm completely fine with that. And we move on. So to answer your question, it's really not micromanaging anyone, trusting, allowing people to do their job because you don't have a zillion hours in a day. You don't have time to micromanage. You need to be doing other things as a leader and really trust your team to get that project done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really sounds like the keys in that are, putting people around you that you trust, putting people around you that are competent, that, you can, that can prove those things so that, again, you can focus on the things that you need to focus on and you feel comfortable that's getting done. Even if it's not the way you would do it, that it's getting that, because I think
solutions, yeah.
I think sometimes we're like, well, they're not doing it the way I would do it.
It's like the joke with the dishwasher. Like, people have all kinds of ways to load the dishwasher. Like, okay, are the dishes clean?
Yeah. Did you get the dishes clean?
Did you get the dishes clean? Like,
and did I not have to do it?
Right, exactly. So, that takes some things to learn, because we can get set in our ways and, tunnel vision on the way that it should be done. It's like, wait, like you said, well, if they do it that way and it's done correctly, it's just a different way. And maybe we learn something, like maybe their way's faster. They're doing something like, whoa, I didn't even know that existed. I've done that. Like, wait, hey, the little shortcut in Microsoft, like, what did you just do? Like, just watching, like, oh, I never knew that was there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If they do it your way, you'll never learn.
Right. So just being open, because sometimes I've seen shortcuts. I'm like, oh, and I show we call it knowledge sharing. Like, did you know? Just to help each other.
Oh, that is.
But you have to be
great.
comfortable as a leader to allow that flexibility and to allow that type of trust and relationship to do that.
Yeah. Well, because again, I'm not the keeper of all knowledge.
Right.
I'm not the one that's always right.
Right.
I'm not the one that has all the ideas, because then you've really almost shut yourself down.
It's crippling. Yeah, it's crippling. So
rise to that level, and you'll never.
And that's it.
You'll never get.
Right.
You'll never get above that. Maybe one last thing I'd love to tackle, because I know you have been very community oriented, community minded, service minded. Talk about your role as a leader and just where that desire came from, and why maybe you give yourself to those types of projects.
I think I've always been raised in a family where we're grateful, thankful, taking a minute to reflect. We might not have the biggest and the best, but we have things that other people would look in and say, wow, we wish you could have that. So that moment of attitude and gratitude, and then looking back, like, even if we feel like we don't have enough, we can still give, right? That fear of holding on to something and not opening your hand to give, even if you feel like, well, what if I can't afford this? You can always afford, because God makes a way to take care of you, right? So that forces you in that moment of community to just remove yourself from your own personal situations and to help and to be a light to others, because that's the way we're supposed to be. Not just go to church and not show our light throughout the week in any capacity, whether it's a community service event, whether it's talking to someone, just saying, I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Trader Joe's just this weekend. Yeah. And I saw the cutest little white-haired lady in some little kitten heels and pink slacks and a pink shirt. And I said, oh my gosh, don't you look so pretty in pink today? And I happen to have pink on. Oh, don't you too, darling? And it was just a moment, like, I don't know this lady, but just a moment just to laugh and to smile and to be nice to somebody, like that just sets the atmosphere. It could be something as simple as that. It could be going to Ronald McDonald House and making a meal and sitting in the fact that some of those parents are dealing with some really stressful situations, but just removing yourself out of your own world, that whole egotistical thought process, and being present for your community.
Boy,
yeah,
that's good. And it kind of sounds like combining gratitude with generosity, and that can really spark some, whether it's a conversation with a stranger or a really, good act of service, or
you just feel good. You have to keep yourself in the right positive mind frame, and it can be so hard to get sucked into the news or any kind of downward spiral of negativity, and you just have to really fight hard to, be aware of that, but really focus on what you can control. I can control how I feel. I can control how I treat other people. I can control, how I interact with my clients. I can control how I interact in my community. Yeah.
I don't need to let the outside things that are real and that are going on, but are outside of my control. They don't have to control my environment and how I behave with people and how I interact. And that's a great reminder too. I think we can get caught up in that world way too much.
Too easy.
Oh, it is. Well, I am grateful for you,
thank you so much.
Just your friendship and just coming on and sharing a lot of what you've learned. If folks are interested in whether learning more about you, your book, where can they find more about Chamie?
Sure, there are several ways. I would say I'm on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn community, so they can search for my name there, my company there, and of course you can always reach out. My email address is Chamie, CHAMIE @myelevatedwealth.com.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, that is great, and I certainly encourage you folks to get to know Chamie. She's a fantastic friend and community leader, and just a wonderful person. So we are grateful that you've joined us for another episode of the podcast. You can rate and review each episode on whatever podcast channel you'd like, or comment on YouTube if you happen to find us there. But we're Brewing Better Leaders anywhere, and we would love it if you would share this episode as well with anybody that you think would benefit. And we look forward to seeing you in a future episode.